Hunter. I know. Oh, it's sort of. Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Crackin Up Podcast.
Welcome. I'm
Welcome.
kind of going out of the picture.
Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Get
I'm sliding in a little bit.
We're season 1, episode 6. Just as always, a little short disclaimer may contain adult topics and some language, so viewer discretion advised. And Rich.
Sorry. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, please. That helps us get these podcasts out there. Also, we are on Facebook. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter. I think those are really the primary social media outlets that we use. But also, if you go to our Facebook page, you will find a link to our website. We do have a website now.
We do.
And we also have an online store where you can buy merchandise.
Merchandise right here. New t-shirts, this, and cups.
What's behind your chair?
Yeah, cups. So, yeah, be sure to check that out. They're pretty awesome. So, we want to just introduce our special guest star today.
Yeah,
our
who is
special
this?
guest.
That's me.
Star. This is Mike. We want to welcome Mike.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yay! Welcome.
Yeah.
Very excited.
So, we're excited about our
Look
topic
at that.
today.
Like we're making it big time. This is our second guest on this
It is.
podcast.
But I wasn't the first.
Well,
All right.
I think you were busy.
Yeah.
But don't tell Jody that.
Yeah, you were busy.
I'm okay finishing second.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it's good to have you here.
Yeah, it's good to have you. Thank you for being here. So,
our topic today is why do we care what other people think? And that could really pertain to so many different different avenues. Our hair, our the way we look, our house.
yeah, anything, really.
Yeah,
the
just-
car we drive.
Just anything.
The
And
way we
that's-
talk.
Right. And that's why we opened it up with my hair. We just thought, how many days I look.
Yeah, because why would you
wanna-
even care what people think about how your hair
My
looks?
hair.
I mean,
But
but
that-
people do.
Well, of course, we spent a lot of money at the beauty shop. And
Well, what about
At
us
the
that don't have
salons.
hair?
Well, I mean, do you care what people think about your hair?
I used to.
Yeah,
I used to care about it.
yeah.
I
So-
did.
So would you say it gets a little less as we get older?
Oh, absolutely. It gets less. You come to support yourself, appreciate who you are,
Right.
and that whole social impact
Yep.
becomes less significant as you get older.
That's
no
very
question.
true.
No
Right.
question.
Very
So
true.
it's really about insecurities, and as we get older, we feel more secure with ourselves.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
think that's a huge deal.
You know, it is. I think that's exactly because if you look at younger people, I mean, they really are impacted. Not all of them, but you find
A
more.
lot.
They care more about what people think, their peers, and that's peer pressure. You know, when
Yes.
you're in school,
Yes.
you know, you want to fit in.
Yeah.
You care what you're wearing,
Right.
You know,
Care
the-
what you're wearing.
your friends.
Right.
You know, who you're hanging out with, you care about, you know. So, yeah, but, okay, so where does that all begin? Why do you think that,
Well, shoot. Even in grade school, second grade, third grade, right? I think it depends on our parents and how we're brought up as to how much we have and if we keep up with our wardrobe, I guess, specifically, as we're growing up.
so
And,
do you think that this is something that's taught to us or that it comes from like peer-to-peer interaction?
Oh, that's a great question.
That is a good question.
Because maybe a little bit of both, right? So, I mean, naturally, we're going to pick up on, you know, what's going on around us at home and our family,
Right.
you know, and if you're raised, the individuals that raise you, whether it's your parents or your grandparents or an aunt or uncle or whoever, if they have, you know, if they care about things like what people think about them, and
Right.
I mean, you're going to pick up on that and you're going to carry some of that.
Right.
But then again, when you go to school, you know, if you've got your friends and they're like, hey, your shoes suck.
Yeah.
You don't have the cool
latest-
shoes.
Have you had, the latest shoes. Like I remember, Nike brands, everything, and then Jordan gym shoes, and everybody had to have.
Yeah, you had to have them because you wanted to fit in.
Think about the social pressure. when we were younger. It was there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now let's add to it technology. And how it's magnified the changes that our generations, younger generation today, has to deal with.
This is
It's pretty
very true.
significant.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, completely different now than it was.
Right.
But we had it when we were young.
Yeah.
But it's been
Right.
magnified with the invention of the internet.
Right, because now it's not just like
You know,
those in your immediate surrounding. It can be worldwide because you're out there on social media.
It's worldwide.
You know, depending on your social media platform that you're on and your age, you know, and what content you're putting out there, you could be exposing yourself to millions of people around the world on,
Right.
you know, and that isn't a bad thing, but you know, it can have its consequences, you know, especially if you're taking responses from those people that are responding to your social media posts. If they're negative, you know, if you're taking that in and internalizing it,
Right.
then it's going to have an effect on, I don't think it doesn't matter what age you are. I think there's a
Right.
lot of people that are social media influencers that some are able to cut off or kind of remove themselves from those negative comments and just say, you know what, that's just BS and
Right.
it's not going to affect me. But some people take it
Oh,
to heart,
you're-
and you see it.
Absolutely. Well, you see it.
Yeah, how can you avoid it?
Yeah.
Right.
And when-
Especially
again,
kids.
When I was young, which is like 150 years ago,
Oh, come on.
99 years
All
ago,
right.
I had to worry about 5 people that may impact my life socially,
Yep.
or say something about me, or have something to say about me.
Right.
So I had to manage that small clan of 5 or 6. I can't imagine how this generation today manages that when everything you do is posted online
Yep.
in
Yep.
4 or 5 different social platforms.
But yet they post it. They have an option not to.
Excellent
and
point.
they do.
Excellent point.
Right.
Excellent point.
So
Well, and I think that, and I could be wrong, but I mean, in my opinion, I think a lot of that, like the social media interaction with people today, has to do with searching for self-worth. I'm not saying that everybody on social media is looking for attention to validate themselves, you know, and their
wait, are we looking for attention?
no, we're providing entertainment. But I think that a lot of people do use social media, or that there are a lot of lonely people that do use social media, you know, for that connection with just people.
Right.
And so when you're putting stuff out there, you're always going to get responses, and they're not always going to be positive. And then, you know, if you care what people think, like if, you know, when this podcast hits 1 million followers, and we have people saying, "Hey, Julie, your hair was a hot mess today," yeah, are you going to be like, "Oh my God,
Ah!
Jesus, now I got to go get my hair"?
color.
Yeah,
Changing my color.
changing it. I got to make an appointment.
I'm gonna get extensions.
I'm gonna get-
$250 at the salon.
But that's a good example, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's a
But
great
you're
example.
putting out, let's use the hair color as an example.
Okay.
You put it out on the internet. You're getting feedback from people that they don't know you.
yeah.
Right.
They don't know you.
Right. And that is a great point. And I think that's a huge problem, of course.
Yeah, and so
Right.
how do you deal with that feedback when it comes into you as negative?
Right.
For people who don't know you as a person, who you are,
Right.
and your life situation, but
Yep.
they give you a negative review, depending on your age, of course, you'd probably say, well, if I was 17, 18 years old, my gosh, that's
Yeah.
terrible. I look terrible.
Right.
If I'm 25, 30, 45 years older,
Right.
okay, I can put it in perspective. But it's a challenge to my earlier point with this generation, younger,
Right.
have to deal with that, manage all that. It's pretty tough.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
Right. Right. And then other things like to get off social media just for a second about why do we care what other people think. We could go back to the 20s, perhaps 30s, and getting our first house and furnishing it, for example. And, you know, the phrase keeping up with the Joneses. Yeah, suddenly I want a boat or a new car or different things for the kids, toys.
Yep.
It's how much of that, looking back, was, or if any, for that matter, because we want people to think, oh, hey, we made it this far. We're doing great.
I remember as a kid, there were families, because I come from a very rural area of Northwest Pennsylvania, but there were families that were better off,
Did you raise pigs and cows?
No.
Horses?
But I did run through the woods barefoot.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Played in the woods
But
barefoot.
there's no video of that, right?
No,
I
there
know,
is no
right?
video, thank gosh.
I need a video.
I know.
I think there are worse things than
Sure.
running barefoot through the woods
I
that
just-
could have
I
been
think-
captured
I
on
think we're
videos.
I think we're just surprised.
But in today's world, it would have been a video.
Yes, you're right. Today's world would have been a video.
Oh, that would have been a video.
Yep.
Yeah, that
But,
would have been.
People did, there were families that, one family would get a new car, and then all of a sudden, this family over here would get a new car.
Right.
And then this family would get like white carpet in their formal living room. And then the next thing you know, another
Getting
person's
carpet.
getting,
Yeah.
So was that because, do you think that's because
They just need a new carpet?
they they need a new car, new carpet? Or
There was
did,
a wine stain on the
yeah. Or did they feel like they were going to be judged if they didn't have the same as
Right.
people in their circle?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, do you think it's because? Oh, look at that! It's a caller.
To
Hello,
accept,
caller.
press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, Stace.
Hello, this is Selma and Louise here, calling from Chicago.
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Oh, Louise, caller from Chicago.
Love Chicago.
Oh,
We-
love
we wanted
Chicago.
to- This is Selma and Louise here, calling from Chicago.
So what do you have to say? What do you have to say about this? You're coming in a little.
Yeah, there's some feedback going on.
You wanted to give our 2 cents.
Okay.
Selma and Louise here. Say about this. What, we're coming a little muffled.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think we're
well,
picking
let
up
me-
the volume from your whatever you're playing. The
Okay, let's see. Okay, yeah. There was, first of all, let's start out. I'm perfection, so
Oh,
I
you're
know everyone
perfection.
just looks at-
Oh, awesome. Love
so,
talking.
so you don't. So it doesn't matter what anybody thinks.
That's right, damn it.
Oh, okay.
So let's
Got
just
it.
out
We've
if a
been
little
searching for
girl.
perfection. We finally found her.
Yeah, we
Oh my
finally
gosh,
found
so
it.
You're in Chicago all this time? Wow.
Yeah. But there was certainly a day where I cared. Oh, hell yeah. Had to have the Jordache, I remember. Had to have the what were they called? Parachute pants for up in the day.
Oh.
But I'll tell you what, it comes with age and confidence. At 52, I don't give a shit at all. It doesn't matter.
Right on,
Wait.
sister. Right on. All right.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Laura, hey, what do you think, friend? I never cared. I think social media. I think social media is the biggest waste of human time ever, and with the exception of the speed of knowledge with technology that we have,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure we're in a better place today than we were 30 years ago. I don't know about anybody else, but that's my thought.
Yeah.
No, it's true. I for a second there was gonna. I thought you might have been going to watching the Cubs game on computer or something. That's where technology was good.
Yeah. That's important. Oh, well, that is no, you know what my point is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's everybody puts everything out there. It's like, who cares? Who's got the time to do
Right.
that? Who's got the time to look at it? Who's got the time to respond to it?
Right.
I don't know.
Yep.
Well, I can't tell you with Facebook. I have a login account. I've had it for years. When it came out, 2011, my doctor told me 2012, get off Facebook. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. And I just go on it sporadically because of work. It was convenient.
Right.
I will forget. I just want to say never. Never is a strong word. But I can't tell you, and this is the honest truth, how bad it made me feel. How bad to look at how everyone else's life is just perfect. I mean, it would have embarrassed me anyway. This excuses. We're on vacation. Here I'm living, you know, unfortunately with someone that's very sick. I'm not working, you know, I can't do any of this. I mean, you don't know what I mean. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't good for me at all. I'm like, done. And that's probably 99% of why I'm not on. It wasn't a feel good.
No, it's not a feel good because it seems we've always said in the past that people seem to post their best moments or that 1 second moment of that great day or and we don't know what's happening the rest of, you know, the 23 hours in their day, but just that minute. And
Yeah.
it's glorious.
But I love the caller's comments here about the fact she doesn't like it, she's off it.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people have the courage to get off Facebook, which I agree with. I think it's great you did it. The question I would have is, it's here to stay, technology, social media. How do we manage that moving forward? Because we can't allow that social platform to impact people's lives in a negative way. She makes a valid point. You go on and you see beautiful people, beautiful models, and it represents, the whole world needs to be that way. That's not true.
Right.
It's just not true. So she has a valid point there.
Yeah, or try the next product or just throwing all this marketing crap in our face.
But how do we balance that between a platform, social media, that's not going away, and how do we get the generation that uses it the most to understand that it's just a tool.
Right.
It's not here to run your life.
Right.
How do you do that?
That's a good question.
So, Miss Perfection, have you come up with any of those answers?
Do you have the answers?
I need them.
Miss Perfection. I stepped away for a moment. I'm sorry. That's me, by the way. Yeah. You know, I was recently at O'Hare Airport, and of course I got there early and I got to people watch. I am so not hip. I am so not hip. I can't. I must have stood out like a sore thumb. Not only looking like a lesbian, but I'm so not into fashion. I'm like, holy shit! What people stop? I still my Levi. I don't care. Half the time I don't even go off to the store with a bra and underwear on. I don't care.
Well, you know, some people like to dress up every day, and that gives them confidence, and I think that's awesome. You know, whatever we like to do as individuals, and we shouldn't worry about what people think.
As long as you're doing it for yourself.
For yourself,
Exactly right.
Yes.
For yourself.
Right.
For yourself.
And that's
Totally.
and that's a good point. Do we judge other people then by how we look at them or how they're dressed, or you know? I mean,
Right.
You know we do. You know we all do.
Right?
We so do.
We all
Of course
do.
we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do. Even those of us that don't care what people think about us, we're judging.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
we are.
have that vein
We
in
were
us.
trained.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just
We're
human
born.
nature.
We're
Yeah,
born
it's
that
human
way, trained
nature.
that way.
It is
It
human
is.
nature. I mean, we may not voice it. We may not walk over and be like, "Excuse me, your shoes suck." I mean, seriously, you need to go
Where'd you
get
buy
some.
those?
Yeah,
Was that the last pair of Mellow?
but
Like your skirt's too short.
yes,
Or whatever.
yeah, yeah. Excuse me, ma'am, your hoo-hoo is hanging out. You know, we're not doing that.
No.
But you know, but even those of us that we can say we don't care, and we mostly don't. We still do look at people and be like, oh, you know,
Yes.
How about those people that are always whipping out their phone right away to start recording something? I mean, you can't even
Right.
walk down the street and be afraid that you're going to be recorded, maybe in the middle of something that you weren't even involved in,
Mhm.
and you're going to be posted on the. I mean,
It's scary.
It's ridiculous.
That scares me.
It's very scary.
Yeah. It's
And it always seems like it seems to me like what's out there is the extremes on both sides. The good extreme, everything's so perfect, and then the bad vitriol stuff that people are that they're so brave to put behind a keyboard rather than out there, you know,
right.
out there
Right.
out there by putting themselves out there. But I don't know. It just seems that there's extremes on both ends in social media, and it just kind of I don't know. It's scary. It's a scary thing.
It is a scary thing.
And the profiteers, the ones that go out there and will post something in hopes of making money with some major magazine or some
Right.
news media, that they don't care about who they're impacting.
Right.
It's just profiteering. It's just making money.
Yeah.
And this is the negative side of social media. It's the dangerous side and the unfortunate side.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Good points. Excellent points.
Yeah. Very good points.
Okay. Over and out on this then, okay?
Hey, thanks for
Hey,
the
thanks for
call.
calling.
How fun. You guys have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye now.
All right. Bye, Thelma and Louise. How about
Hey,
that?
thanks for the calls.
And they didn't mention your hair.
They didn't mention my hair.
They're probably
No.
talking about right now.
Right now they are. They're like,
Probably
did you
are.
see Julie's hair?
Yeah.
Oh.
They'll be posting it.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Just so you.
Well, okay, so a few episodes ago I was talking about, elephant knees.
Yes.
And so that's, why do I care what people think with that, right? So I wouldn't wear skirts. And, in my 40s, I had a great figure to wear them, but I would get self-conscious and being in them and never wore them, really. I think I own 2.
Well, I think we all have, like, even, you were with the elephant knees. I don't like the sound of my voice. And how many times have we talked about this? And so
What's your other
it's not like I don't care about the sound of my voice for myself. I'm concerned about what somebody else might think about me because and why? Because
Yeah.
do I really care? Probably a little bit.
Do you?
Probably a little bit somewhere. There's a little part of me that's like, I don't want to be judged for anything, including the way I speak.
You have one of those commercial voices. I don't need to see your face, but you'll be talking about the next Folgers coffee. And there's that voice in the background.
See?
That's good.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
a
like
good
that.
voice.
Well, then I'm not concerned whatsoever.
See, I just pumped you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Mike.
gave you confidence.
That's
Thanks,
right.
Mike.
We
Screw
need to
anybody
throw
that
that
doesn't like my
Exactly.
voice.
That's right. That's
Screw
right.
them.
Don't you think you want? Well, how's it go? Don't you think you want to be
Hot like
me?
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't go as far as that, but
That's how to stays. All right, Miss Perfection. All right, right on. So, okay, so growing up, we're always looking at that throughout our youth, throughout our marriages, in the beginning especially, and then you get a little older, but then we really, I think, tune into our kids a lot, I would say.
Yeah.
That really comes back into play why do we care what people think with our kids, how we raise them, always competition, always, oh, well, my kid's in football, my kid's in this, but well, my kid's not. And, and then there's always discussions, I feel, on that end of it too. I think there's a lot of pressure to be in, what are your thoughts on that?
Listen, I coached children's sports for over 20 years. And I can remember when I first started, it was a family sport. As time evolved and we got 10 years later in time, all of a sudden I had parents telling me, hey, I just put $5,000 into coaching for my son to be on the minor league 9-year-old baseball team. I thought, wow, what's happening here? I saw this happening where a competition, your point, started.
Right.
Where my son is got to be equal to John across the street. And money was being poured out. I thought, wow. And that became the norm. As my kids went through high school, you were putting in money to get them special training because every other parent was doing it.
Right.
It's unbelievable to me, the social pressure that developed.
So do you think that revolves around, why do we care what other people think? You think that was a big
All
part of it?
Absolutely a part of it.
Okay.
If my son or daughter is not as good as the son or daughter across the street, I need to improve that.
Yeah.
They got to be equal to.
Right.
It was that social pressure. And then bringing the technology piece where, Janie could see what, Denise was doing across the street, 2 12-year-olds looking at thinking, oh gosh,
Yeah.
she's a little bit better than me. I got to go talk to my mom and dad about that. It just became this crazy development.
Yeah.
All driven by social media, technology, and social pressure.
Right. Yeah, it's a big deal. We saw it just get worse and worse over the years. Well, due to technology. I don't think there's any way of getting around all of that, throughout growing up, as we were saying earlier. So it's always going to be there. It's part of just our social environment. But can we get better at it? Will just as to your point, can we change any of that, you think?
I have an opinion.
Yes, let's hear it.
Okay, ready? This is going to be just phenomenal.
All right.
Woohoo!
Maybe, I know some parents are going to send in letters and comments about this, but maybe we shouldn't allow them to have free reign in the social media system.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that.
How can we anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, I relate to this. Sorry, bear with me an example. When I grew up, I walked to school every day. My mom and dad never walked me. No problem. No issues, right? When my kids started going to school, I had to walk them to school every day because the environment, the world we live in, got more complicated and a little scary.
Yeah.
Next generation has social media. What risk does that bring now in how you raise your kids? Shouldn't we protect them to some degree and what they see online, like you walked into school in the last generation because of risks? It's no different to me.
And it's no different. It's
Right.
actually worse because it's constant. Whereas walking to school is,
But
5
you walk into
minutes.
school to protect them.
Right.
Shouldn't we take the same approach maybe to what they see on the internet? I know it's difficult. I know it's, my gosh, they can go anywhere and find this stuff, but it's just my thoughts. It's just Mike's opinion. And I'll leave it at that. How's that?
Well, no, it's interesting.
Well, I mean, I think I just listened to, I don't know if it was a discussion on a podcast or whether it was on radio about even just limiting the time that your kids have on social media, which is probably not a bad thing for adults either. Limit your time that you're spending on social media.
Right.
When we're talking about the influences that social media has, if you reduce the amount of time that you're on there, then you're exposing yourself or your children to less, which lessens the effects, possibly, hopefully. But I mean, even just time, watching the time spent on social, or with kids, monitoring what it is that they're doing. I know that my brothers watch what their kids are doing on social media. They look at who are they talking to, what have they posted. So they watch all of that, and they just don't have free reign to go out there and do whatever. Now, kids are kids,
And they're going to find a way.
Yep.
They're going to find out.
But
Yep.
there is, there's at least some boundary set there.
Right.
But
Well, it's you have to start there. You have to do that. You have to set boundaries.
Okay,
Sure.
I'll give you a great example. I was flying back from Portland on a business trip, and I had a gentleman sit next to me, and we were talking about different things, and social media was part of it because he was doing his own Facebook thing, and we talked about the dangers of social media, how it influences our children, and how it impacts their lives, and I said, well, I used to put some controls on the kids and what they could do, and his response to me was, no, I mean, that would be interfering in my child's life. Violating their privacy.
That's another big one.
And I had to bite my lip and sit back and say nothing.
Yeah.
I had to sit back.
That's a big one. They have these kids, they want, these parents are letting them have all these rights when they shouldn't have them. They're kids. No,
well, I think we could do a whole
Yeah,
podcast
no kidding.
on, because this is this falls to me, and I'm not going to, but this falls into that category, how, so let's say, who was the generation before me? I'm Generation X. Baby Boomer was right before me.
Yeah.
I'm the
So,
baby boomer here.
Baby Boomers,
Right there.
when you talk to the older group of Baby Boomers, they're like, I don't know what's going on with these kids today, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
But then, and I've heard this, and I'll say, but, if you remember when you were the age that this younger generation is now, your grandparents were saying the same thing.
True.
Because it changes with
Right.
each, use your words, generation. It changes, and, we're in that time where social media has been introduced, and it really made a drastic change,
Right.
but it's going to continue to change.
Right.
And so, you have these parents or a group of individuals now that maybe felt like they were missing out on something or were restricted in ways that they shouldn't have been, now are opening that up to their children and not being as restricted, or you know what I'm saying? So I feel like
Right.
so to me it's a natural progression.
You do?
But it's just, yeah, I do. I honestly do. I feel like I'm not going to say whether it's right or wrong or whether it's good or bad.
Okay.
It's just
It's
a natural progression.
of time.
Right. And so these
And-
kids now that
Right.
spend all of their time on tablets, because now, again, when we were kids, there was no such thing as a cell phone or a computer.
Mm-hmm.
You turned the channel. You had 9 channels on the TV, and you had to get up and turn the
Like
channel.
5 channels.
Yeah. And then you had to adjust
9
it.
is a lot.
Right.
That's a lot.
Wow, we were.
I know.
And channel 2,
Yeah.
UHF.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, it's changed, and now these kids, you see kids now in like their crib with an iPad
Oh,
or a tablet,
Right.
who can't even speak yet, who are playing games. And I'm not saying that that's a
Right.
bad thing.
Right.
It's just different, and that's
Right.
the way we are progressing as a society. But I'm not sure how this all affects on what they think
people
about.
think.
Yeah, what people think. I mean, when those kids grow up, I mean,
But I'm sure you have the parents now that just will not allow it.
Oh,
And
yeah,
you
I
have the
mean, there's-
and then you have the parents that do, and
Yep,
and
yep.
and these kids are smart and well, they all learn at their own pace anyways. But it's a tough question to answer, and
But I'll
think
give you
they're
some
all
good
okay.
news. Here's some good news for you.
huh.
Not big, but it's good news.
Ah,
I think some of the social platforms are trying to deal with that issue. I'll give you an example. So prior to this, I decided to ask Sarah if I look good today.
ah,
And Sarah said, I think you look just fine as you are.
ah.
Then I said, Sarah, am I fat? No, you look just fine as you are. I thought, wow, how refreshing is that some of the platforms are recognizing the impact they have on people's lives
Right.
and are making sure they're messaging those kinds of questions and trying to bring positive confidence back. I just did it today, just for the sport,
Yeah.
to see what happened.
Ah.
And by the way, I'm overweight and I'm fat, but whatever.
Did it make you feel better?
I felt better.
see, if it's, but then again, even to that, like, there are people that would really, I mean, those are legit questions that some people would ask these what do you call automated, not AI. What is that called?
Oh.
Oh, God.
It's called Siri.
Something intelligent. Siri, yeah. Siri and,
We were just reading about AI.
Yep.
what's the Google one? Or the
The AI stands for
Alexa with Amazon. I mean, you can ask her the same kind of question.
artificial intelligence.
Artificial intelligence. So,
Takes a minute.
there are,
Yeah, that's
Yes.
it.
but when is the artificial intelligence going to become brutally honest with people?
Yeah.
Be like, well, listen here.
Yeah.
You know,
This is what you need
Yeah.
to do. Cut the salt out.
okay.
Brush your hair.
I walked by, Mike, you put on a few pounds
Yeah.
yesterday? Thanks, Alexa. Thank you.
Rich, you need to take some lessons on speaking. Your voice is a little irritating.
Yep.
But then do we care what people
Yeah.
think?
Do we care? Or are we like,
I don't
Alexa,
know.
But
shut
to
up?
my earlier point, I love this instant gratification myself.
Yeah.
I get instant answers on anything I want, and now I'm
Yeah.
frustrated if my laptop should not respond to me or Alexa doesn't respond correctly. Now I'm frustrated.
Right.
See?
But I got to say, so the other night, a few nights ago, last week, whatever, we lost power. Probably about 5 hours.
Oh, gosh.
And I have to say, it was sort of nice.
It was nice.
No computers, no
To
internet.
disconnect.
To disconnect, light some candles and talk. And
I think
yeah.
our household shut down because it was like, oh my gosh, there's no internet, no TV. Oh God, let's go to bed.
Yep.
Yeah, even though we do have internet on the phones were working.
Our
but-
phones were working.
We had virtual phones. I mean, partial. Actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
partial.
We get text messages, but we really couldn't get in on service.
Yeah,
Oh really?
couldn't get on.
So we had service. We could get on and do stuff on the internet via the phone, but you don't have TV when in here when
But how many
internet's down.
times do we go check our phones? Is the internet back up? Is the internet back up?
Oh, right.
I was
Did,
like, oh my
a
gosh,
lot.
we're so dependent
A
on
lot.
this thing.
A lot. It was a sad day for you. you?
Yeah. Well, I don't really. It wasn't as bad for me. I mean, because I can find things to do.
Yeah.
I am
Like
a.
play cards?
I'm an avid solitaire on the phone. Yeah,
Work on your
that's
voice?
my favorite. Yeah, I need to start
This is
working
rich.
on my voice.
Good radio.
But I can find things like napping. We all know that I love napping. That's my favorite hobby. So any opportunity to say, okay, well, there's nothing else going on, I'm going to take a nap. But
Yeah.
solitaire. It was solitaire.
Take
Not
a
going to
nap, that's
lie.
good.
Solitaire.
Well, playing games with kids, yeah, well, that's a whole nother topic. But, okay, so why do we care what people think? What are some other, as you were growing up, what really, can you think of anything directly? Like, oh man, I think it was maybe for women, it's clothes or wardrobe, how we look in it, in our hair. Now that's just me. I think it was insecurities for a long time with that kind of stuff.
Did it start when you were like a child? Was that kind of
No, I don't think so. I think it was more
teens?
teenager. Yeah.
Well, I think that's when we learn to care. If we're going to care what other people think,
Yeah.
that's the age that we're going to start caring. That's
Right.
when
Yeah.
we're a teenager.
Sure. Yeah. Otherwise,
But
we're
that
just
peer
too young.
pressure's been there
Forever.
forever.
Yeah.
My position is it just went to a whole nother level with technology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It definitely did.
Yeah.
And I wonder how this generation, younger generation, manages all that. With so many opinions coming at you from different resources. As we said earlier, I had 5 or 6 people to worry about.
Yeah.
This generation, this young generation, has 100.
Yeah.
But I love what you said. They bring something on. They post it. They put it out there.
Right.
And then sometimes they don't like what they get back.
Right. Right.
So I think today it's more about teaching like the younger generations that are on social media a lot to be able to filter what's important and what's not. If you're putting stuff out there, you need to be able to filter, oh, this person's making negative comments about me. I don't need to pay attention to that.
Right.
Because I think for a lot of people that can be difficult to filter out negative comments,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're dealing with depression and those types of
All those.
issues.
Right.
Those are definitely going to affect your thought process and your self-worth. It can very easily.
Oh, I think that's a major issue
So
with children.
so it's kind of
on social
teaching
media.
them to take out the bad and don't pay attention to it, And honestly, is any feedback that you get on social media important? Probably not. I mean,
Well, we
people
want
might be like,
likes.
hey, huh?
We want
We
likes.
we want likes. Okay, well, there's a difference between likes. We want likes. We don't really want you to, well, no, we do want you to like us.
Yeah.
We,
That does
But if you don't like Rich's voice, it's okay to say.
yeah, you don't have to like my voice, just like me. Or like Julie. I mean, there's two of us on here, so.
See how they just left me out of that? You don't have to say
Oh, well,
anything.
I mean, you can like Mike, too.
Him too, because
I
then we
mean-
could have him on again.
Yeah.
Now I'll
think-
get the most likes.
I think, yeah. Oh, you'll get the most likes? Well, then we'll have you off.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the next thing we know, Mike's going to be upstairs with his podcast.
Yeah, I'm going to have a competitive podcast upstairs now.
Yeah, see?
Well, we'll have to have a.
It's going to be called Like Mike.
Like Mike.
We'll have a like Mike segment when
Yep,
you could build.
yep.
People would call them questions on how to construction questions.
There you go.
How's that?
I love it. Bring it on.
We'll
Like
pitch
Mike
in,
segment.
and then you can care about what other people think.
I have so much knowledge on that construction arena. I can support everybody.
Woo! All right.
Mm-hmm.
That would be super cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I'm just going to finally comment on your statement about
Oh,
people having to control what comes in and manage it. That's a tough thing to do when you're 16 years old. I mean, I agree with you 100%. The only way to win this battle of self-confidence and resisting social pressure is to have to believe in yourself and have the confidence to do that.
Yeah.
right.
And I'm not sure I know where that starts. Certainly in the family, in the family environment, those around you, that's easy. But I think it's a tough battle.
It is because honestly, in my opinion, and again, my opinion only,
That's-
as we grow up, we are guided, my opinion,
What is it?
with the
Is
use,
this your opinion?
yeah, just my opinion,
Okay.
with the use of negativity. That's how we are taught to make choices based on negative consequences, or you don't want to do that, or you don't want to do that, you don't want to do it that way, instead of, oh, this is the way that you want to do it, or think about, what happens if you do it this way. I don't know, I'm not speaking for everybody, but I feel like there are so many pressures put on society from so many outside factors like religion, even politics. I mean, just anything that's out there that influences decisions that we make.
Right.
Some of those things are really, they use negative impact to influence. So, I believe that it's difficult for a lot of people to be able to separate and say, don't pay attention to this because it's bad, because that's really what we've been kind of, I don't want to say brought up to, but that's kind of what has influenced us as we've gone through our growth or life or whatever. We look at the negative things, or we look at things, like, oh, give me an example. Come on.
Pull it. You can pull it.
Use your
Use your
words.
Use your words.
Like,
Wait, look up there.
so, oh, there's a smile on my face. So, let's say, for example,
Let's get in a dictionary with words.
Yeah, a dictionary.
We'll wait for you.
Okay.
let's say, for example, for somebody let's go to high school, and somebody who struggles with their grades, for whatever reason, it doesn't do really well. They might even try, but it's just not something that comes to them. And they want to be a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
So the natural thing, in my opinion, what probably happens is somebody, whether it's their guidance counselor or their parents, are going to say, you don't got it, right? So you're not
I've
going
seen
there.
that.
Yeah.
I've seen kids shot down.
You're not going to do that. So
One person's
look over
coming.
here. Yeah.
Right.
So you might want to look at being a mechanic because you're not going to cut it.
Right.
Instead of saying, hey, you know what? That's a great goal. Let's figure out how we can get you there.
Right.
All right. You said something that really piqued my interest, and I'd love to hear from the viewers down the road their opinion. I believe the toughest 4 years were high school.
As a parent.
As a parent,
Yeah.
or as a child, to go through those 4 years and endure, my gosh, at my age was tough. Now bringing technology and social media,
Right.
I still say high school were the toughest 4 years for any child to survive.
Right.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
High school was
And
tough.
I wish I was more prepared for it. I wish I would have
Yeah.
thought this through when they were 7th, 8th grade, thinking, how am I going to prepare them talking about high school? High school is just tough.
Yeah.
On self-confidence, your imaging, your peers. I thought it was the toughest 4 years. I don't know how you two feel about it, but that was, in my opinion, the toughest 4 years.
I agree.
You're on board?
I'm on board.
You
I mean, I
compare?
think I grew up in like I said, rural. There was not very many in our class. I think outside of the obvious issues that I dealt with as a young adult in school, when you throw on top, the pressures, like my peers, I don't know that if I had a lot of it wasn't difficult for me. I think. I'm trying
Would
to
you
think
say
what I
it
was
would
saying.
be more difficult now
I think
in a
now.
rural area with technology? You think
Maybe
kids
with-
would now think, hey, what do they think about me now? What
Yes.
do people think about me?
Yeah, exactly.
Versus rural years
Right, because
ago,
we were in
it was
our own
rural,
little
and-
world.
and-
Right? We were in our own
And now
little.
it just opened up.
Right.
So suddenly these teenagers are probably thinking,
Right.
hey, what do people think of me? Because they're They're online.
Right, because
They
I
can
was,
see everything
you know,
now.
the same example, like I was a redneck growing up in a
Uh-huh.
redneck school, so that was the world that we lived in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're in that environment, I shouldn't call them rednecks. I call myself a redneck. I was a redneck, but if you're in that environment, now you throw in social media and you're seeing, you know, somebody who lives in New York City in a penthouse who, you know, daddy just bought them a BMW, and
Right.
you're seeing that life and you're like, oh gosh,
Yeah,
you know.
wait a minute. Yeah.
Or
Now that- yeah,
I
don't
can't
live in
afford
there.
Gucci
Right.
or
Right.
Louis Vuitton. How do you say it?
Louis Vuitton,
Louis Vuitton?
I guess.
I don't know.
I don't own one. But my kids, my daughters, our daughters wanted them. So there was peer pressure right there.
Absolutely.
Why?
Keep up the Joneses scenario.
Yeah.
That's what it
Why
was.
do we care what other people think? They definitely did.
But I would bet, not maybe 100% yet, that they're now moving as they're getting older. They're in their late 20s. No, I'd rather go travel and have a fancy purse.
Right.
It's evolving.
And it's about age too, which
It's age.
yeah, which leads me again to the next thing. So, when do we stop caring about what other people think? You know,
When we start farting when we stand up.
Do you mind if I stand for a minute?
I'd rather you sit.
yeah, don't stand,
Just
yeah.
no standing.
I'm trying to be polite.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be socially correct.
No standing.
I think I definitely feel every decade I care less and less. And it's not that I really care, but I think it's so ingrained in us that, yeah, I still look and see, oh, my hair, like at the start of the show, or my pants too tight, or, you know, can you see my back fat, or, you know, whatever.
Back fat? What's back fat?
So, yeah,
What the heck is back fat?
well, because of age. Like when the
I don't know what
bra,
back fat is.
My
when
back
bra
fat's on the
fits
front.
too tight or something.
Okay, I know.
then it-
New term for Mike, back
All right,
fat.
Back
yeah,
fat.
back fat.
So, do
So-
you think, like, is it different for both of you living in rural Tennessee versus when you lived outside of Chicago? Like, would you go to the store when you lived near Chicago like you would go to the store here now?
Okay, well, that's a no-brainer for you.
No, please. I'll piggyback off your comments. It's a different world.
Yeah.
I love this world.
Yeah.
I do.
Because it's laid back. You don't care. You
Right.
just throw on whatever and go.
Right.
I'll take it one step further. You know, we're Chicago, born and raised, and we didn't really care about neighbors and people per se. Not that we didn't care about them. We just went on our daily business and we didn't engage too much.
Yeah.
You know, we just had our own lives.
Right.
And we love our neighbors and friends here, and we go out our way to try to help anybody who needs help, and it's part of our life now. We want to help people. But that was not the way, you know, in the old days, if you will, of Chicago and the big city. And I think that ties into our previous conversation about social media.
Yeah.
Right.
We use it now for helping people, you know, and
Yeah.
trying to find ways to be a part of the community.
Right. Right. And just to clarify, we're only talking about the last 15, 20 years, not Chicago back then. I mean,
Yeah.
it's changed from when we were kids to
Yep, it has
So no.
changed.
hugely. So I just want to clarify that. But I think here in rural area, I still care a bit, you know, for sure. But maybe again, that's a woman. Now, I will have to say, I don't think, you know, if I have to, I'm begging him sometimes to buy a new shirt. Just get a new T-shirt, get it, you know, or get a new pair of shorts because I have about 10 spots on them or something. So I don't think he cares what people think. Would be my, for the most
Well,
part.
I mean, that's how, you know, and I know we've mentioned this before. I've mentioned this before when I've been here, is it 3 years? It could be 3 or 4 years. I don't remember. But coming from Tampa, the suburbs of Tampa, I would never jump up and just run to Target. Like, I had to be showered and dressed, like not in
Dressed?
sweatpants or, you know, I had to be dressed to what I thought was appropriately dressed to go to the store, you know, which not just with a thrown together look. Now sometimes I'll go to town without even taking a shower. You roll out, just
No,
throw a hat on.
right.
I know.
No, wait.
I
Would you
know.
do a podcast without taking a shower?
Well, that hasn't happened yet. That's for
I'll be
the.
sitting right
That's
there.
for the. Yeah.
I
That's
want to reserve the seat. That's okay.
That's for the. Yeah. That's just consideration.
Hey, but, oh, go ahead.
But I mean, and why is that? Because it's not that I feel like, it's not like, I don't know, because I don't feel like I would care less what people here think, because people here are nicer.
Right.
Or maybe it's because people here are nicer, so I assume that they don't really care.
Yeah, twist on
Yeah.
things.
Or maybe you're getting older and becoming accepted
Yeah.
of who you are.
Right.
Yeah. I kind of like that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I think
it's
that's
taxing to have to, if you're going to go to Target, who cares if you have hair product in, and that your hair, everything has to be, and you have
Perfect.
to match and
Well, that's why they make hats.
iron your, but see, I didn't wear hats in Florida. I didn't wear hats very often.
Right.
You wear them here a lot
Right.
because I don't want to do anything with my hair. Just put a hat
I'm
on.
the same way.
Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause I don't want to do my hair.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm
I
the
get it.
same way.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah, it's all true. It's all true. So, talking about as we get older and we get more secure with ourselves and our desire to care about what other people think become less and less, you think it just keeps getting better and better as the next decades approach? Like another 10 years, be like, oh man, excellent. I am, going out with shorts that they haven't been cleaned in a week, or I don't
I
know.
don't want to take it that far.
yeah, that might be really
not
taking it to the
not underwear.
extreme.
I'll probably have massive back fat by then.
Oh my gosh. Oh, so you think maybe one day I'm going to be in my overalls without a shirt on, just running into the Walmarts and
Yeah,
shopping?
exactly.
Let's hope it doesn't come to that.
And if you do go, let me know so I don't go.
I mean, but it may.
I don't want to be there for that.
It may. Who knows? It may
Or
happen.
is it just part of, you want to go out and look good just for yourself? Like, I just told myself the other day, you know what? I should probably just go into my closet and start wearing all these things I never wear, just for the heck of it. And I thought maybe even do it on the podcast. Like, just really go out, out of my box and with my clothes. And just wear crazy stuff. Or not crazy, just wear everything that I own that I never wear. And maybe I'll feel better about myself. Hey, maybe that's what do you call it?
Topic?
No.
What?
Maybe it's a challenge.
A challenge.
Start it.
Well, I tell you
Every
what,
day.
I'm speaking for every man out there. We, as we age, move to comfort.
Yeah, that's true.
We move to comfort.
That's true.
And all you listeners, you got to support me on this. I believe it's true. As we get into our 20s, 30s, each decade.
That's true.
We move closer to comfort.
It is true.
Yeah,
I
it's true.
agree.
That's the way
I
I see
mean,
it.
I didn't wear
It's true.
hoodies in Florida. I had a nice casual jacket that I would put on, and it was a
Cashmere.
not Michael Kors, but it was it was a
Name
Leisure
brand.
suit?
nope, never had one of those.
Okay, just checking.
Thank God I kind
Just
of
checking.
was too young during that time, but I didn't wear sweatshirts. I wasn't. Now I just throw them on because it's comfortable and
Yeah.
whatever. I don't have to worry about ironing because I used to iron my shorts
Did
and
you
my
have blue jeans
t-shirts.
kind of hanging down a little low? And
No, never did that.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
jeans, though,
They
yes.
were big.
But I was during the age of spandex.
Ah, yes. There's a subject matter.
Oh gosh, that was a bad time.
Bad time.
Bad time. My family has stories.
Yeah,
My brothers
sure
like
they
to
do.
talk
I want
about
to see
that.
pictures.
I don't know if there are actually any photos. Thank God, because that was not a
Well,
good time.
we won't put it on social media.
Yeah, no, that would never end up on social media.
So we're coming into the end of the show. We're getting there. So any last comments?
I got one message, and it's
Yeah.
important. This is all kidding aside, because we love to have fun. This one is serious. I'm speaking to every high school child, woman, man out there. nothing that is said to you in the long term means anything. Do not let somebody tear down your confidence. Don't let it happen. I guarantee you, I promise you, after high school, it is the greatest time of your life. But those are tough 4 years. Do not let anybody tear you down. So that's my message to all my little high school friends.
Oh,
That's good. Do you have a lot of high school friends?
They're doing a podcast.
Okay.
I got to be there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
all of our
Well,
high
that
school
is good,
friends.
though.
We were trying to find high schoolers to have on here.
Yeah, we were looking for younger people.
Yeah.
I have young people. I got people.
We didn't know
You got
that.
people?
I got people.
Why didn't you know that?
I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't
Gosh.
know. No, I
Okay.
didn't
See,
know.
we could have had that. We could have had a whole group of
Yeah.
people.
Hey, I heard today was Portillo's Day in Chicago.
Oh.
60th anniversary.
Do
for
you miss
Portillo's.
Portillo's?
It's an official.
What was your
Portillo's
favorite thing
in
about
Chicago.
Portillo's?
No, I really don't. I don't miss
The
it.
cake.
The cake.
The cake.
Oh, the cake.
Because, I mean, they're hot dogs. That's whatever. Because we had a Portillo's in Florida.
Or Lou Malnati's pizza.
Oh,
Well, see, I'm not familiar with that.
boy.
it's or Gene and Jude's hot dogs.
Oh, take me home.
Yeah.
Take me back to Illinois just for a couple days.
Country
to eat.
Just to
road, take me home to the place. Okay, sorry.
All right. You have anything you'd like to add?
I don't. I mean, I think this was a great discussion.
Yeah.
You know, this is something that affects everybody. We all, at some point, I shouldn't say all. See, I always do this. For the majority of us, we all at some point care about what somebody thinks at some point in time. So I think this was a good thing to put out there. Good
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Be good to yourselves.
Good job, podcasters.
So we wanted to thank you and thanks to our
Thank you
Thanks.
for inviting me.
special
Yes.
guest
Thank
today
Thanks,
for
Mike.
being here.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
it, love it.
Awesome.
And yes. Yes.
Yeah.
But do not stand up and take a bow.
I was gonna
No.
mention, you said it.
Wait.
No.
Wait.
So, but just remember to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are trying to build up our subscribers.
Yeah.
Follow us on Facebook. You can find on Facebook, if you look for us at We're Cracking Up, you will find a link to our website and the link to the store for merchandise. Now, just as of today, we're having an issue with women's t-shirts. We're going to get that taken care of hopefully within the next 24 hours.
Right.
But you can jump on there's t-shirts and
Oh, Julie, stand up.
yeah. Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Better end it soon. End it soon.
Oh, boy.
Okay. I didn't hear anything, so we're good.
We're good.
But
We're good.
yeah, thanks for being here, Mike.
Thank you.
As always, Julie,
Thanks for being
it's a
here.
pleasure.
Thank you.
And thanks for watching and thanks for supporting us. Oh, and we're gonna have Patreon up and running here soon.
Right.
So once we do, maybe on the next podcast, we'll talk a little bit more about that and what exciting things that will bring.
Yeah.
So
All right. See you next time. Ciao.
here we go. This
we
is the
go.
end of the
Ciao.
podcast. Peace out.